So yeah, let's start the practice lying down. Just come down all the way onto your mat. Spend a moment just with your tailbone, just tilting it forward and back, and get a sense for the full length of your spine. You might tilt the pelvis, so you're lifting your tailbone up to feel the spine heavy on the mat. Maybe you tilt it back a bit, just bringing a little curve into the spine. So just experiment moving between the two. Maybe just noticing all the points where your spine meets the mat. We can take the feet shoulder width apart. Knees can be up or they can be out if you like. Whatever works for your body. We're going to bring our palms onto our belly. Once you find a kind of neutral place for the spine to sit in between those two things of either being curved or flat, there's always just a natural neutral place that your spine will land in. Slightly different for everyone's body. Once you find it, just bring your hands to the lower belly, just a couple of finger widths below the navel. You might rest your palms on your hip bones, fingers. Just feeling into the breath as we breathe through the abdomen. Just give your breath time. Without trying to change it, just feel into the rhythm of it. You'll slowly start to feel as you breathe in that the hands expand up. And as you sigh out, hands will drop down towards the spine. As you breathe in, have a sense of inviting in presence. When our mind is always taking us backwards, we need to remind ourselves that healing doesn't work that way. We can't leap backwards into a place of wellness. Healing is in the here and now. Finding peace with our imperfections, acknowledging our body exactly as it is right now. See if you can just follow the journey of the belly as you inhale and it rises. As you exhale, feel it sink down. Feel a sense of surrendering into the mat. We're going to explore 4 or 5 different types of breath work today. And breath is our vital energy, our life force. In yoga, usually called Pranayama. There's many different Pranayama exercises. So today we're going to do some for relaxing, some for energizing, some for heating, some for cooling. First, we just get a sense of feeling our breath coming from the mid part of our body. So often we're busy in our mind. Mind is always active and moving. So we just start the practice, allowing ourselves to land, allowing ourselves to focus on this mid part of our body, grounding through our connection to the earth, inviting in stillness, inviting in peace. We might remind ourselves, nothing I need to do right now, nowhere I need to be. We might find that our breath starts to slow. See if we can bring our awareness to the pause in between the breaths as we inhale. Pause at the top of the breath. Whenever you need to, sigh it out. Emptying out the lungs. Just wait for that point that the belly needs to expand again. We're not trying to hold the breath. We're not trying to do anything unnatural. We're just allowing our attention to come to this natural pause before our breath inevitably keeps rolling. You may remember that in every day, most people take between 20 and 25,000 breaths. We only need to breathe half as much as we do. So as we slow things down, as we bring calm and well-being into our body, maybe we get closer to this functional type of breathing. Every day we eat between 1 and 2 kilograms of food, but we breathe between 10 and 20 kilograms of air. So 10 times more air than food we invite into our body. And you might start to think, just as you do with food, about the quality of what we're inviting into the body. We can gain energy from both food and from air. Energy comes into our body as oxygen. But what's the quality of the breaths that we're inviting in? Are they short and sharp breaths that just come straight in and leave straight out, without truly allowing the oxygen to travel throughout our body? Or are they full, deep breaths where we invite the oxygen in and we allow it to move throughout our body to all our organs, allowing our bodies to function? So as you take your next breaths, you might visualize this idea of energy and oxygen moving through, coming through your breath and into your body. Sense of the body expanding, sense of extending beyond ourselves. Pathways of oxygen and energy moving throughout our body to every part that needs it. So we're starting today's practice with a 3-part breath. The first part is this abdominal breath. Second part, we bring our hands up to our rib cage. Our intercostal breath just involves expanding our rib cage wider. So as we breathe in, we feel our ribs expand out to the side of the body, palms move away from each other. And as we breathe out, the fingers draw back together, maybe touching. Inhale, ribs expand out. You might feel like the air is moving from ribs down to hips. lower back. Just feel into the expansion of that breath. We're going to use 10 to 15% of our lung capacity. What happens if we expand our lungs, give them room to move? You might remember that our lungs are the size of a tennis court. If we take them out of our body, lay them out flat. How can that be? How can such amazing space exist within our tiny frames? As we allow our ribs to spread wide, our shoulders extend, you might feel the sense of lungs having space. Sense of our connection to the ground growing wider and deeper. This is our lateral breath, using our ribs. Now we're going to cross our hands over, wrists meet, and just feel into that place underneath our shoulders, inside and under the collarbone. This is our lung point on our lung meridian, lung 1 and lung 2. As you take the next breath, you might start to feel these lung points activating a little. Sense of expansion through the back. Sense of oxygen moving all around the spine, surrounding and revolving around the spine. Now, inviting our breath to move between our belly, our rib cage, our lungs, our back of our neck. When we come up to standing, we're going to combine these 3 breaths, this 3-part breath, our abdomen, our rib cage, and our chest into the Tibetan breath of joy. So right now, as we do this, this is a calming breath, cooling breath for the body. But we're going to see if we can transfer these same 3 parts of the breath into an energizing breath. Let's take our arms overhead, our legs along. We're going to inhale to take the arms high, reaching up towards the sky. And as we exhale, let's press through the heels and slowly peel up the spine, 1 vertebrae at a time. Inhaling to lift up, pressing through the heels. Feel the spine long, and then exhale, sigh it out and reach forward. Let it go. Whenever you're ready, let's bring the hands beside the hips, push ourselves up into a standing position. Just take a moment to find our feet's connection to the ground. You might like to sway forward and back. Let's find those same breaths in a standing position. Hands on the belly. Shoulders heavy and away from the ears. Just feel into the rhythm of the breath. As we inhale, our belly expands out. As we let it go, feel the hands come back towards the spine. Let's bring the hands up to the ribs now. Middle fingers touching at the start. Have your palms at the side of the body. We inhale. Feel the ribs grow wide, hands move away from each other. And as we exhale, side out, maybe the middle finger comes into touch. Inhale, expand wide. Exhale, let it go. As you breathe, keep your attention on the feet. Maybe the knees are slightly bent. Leg muscles engaged. Whole body feels heavy. And now let's cross our palms over, wrists touching. You might remember this is our Nagun and our Wagun point, our acupressure points for calm, our pericardium meridian and our triple warmer meridian. These are both lines in our body that protect our heart. Find those lung points. You might start to feel the breath come under the chest. As we connect these calming points in our body, those wrist points, the Nagun and the Wagun points, we're also connecting with our Sea of Tranquility point on the center of our sternum. You might remember that one. Our shoulders are heavy. Scan through the body, no tension in the jaw and the teeth. Neck is long. Maybe bring the attention back to that space in between the breaths. All right, let's take our arms, shake them out. We're going to roll our shoulders, roll the shoulders. Let's bring the hands up to the shoulders and extend the elbows wide. Let's drop our right ear down towards our right shoulder. Roll the chin to the chest. Come up through the center. Let's take some small circles. Meeting at the middle, left ear comes down to the left shoulder. Let's find your own rhythm here. We're going to do a cooling breath into our body. So this one, we take our tongue loosely between our teeth. This is a breath called Shitari. So our tongue just loosely between our teeth without, of course, biting it up. And we breathe in. And then we breathe out through our nose. So again, we take our tongue just loosely between the teeth. Breathe in through the mouth. Close the mouth, breathe out through the nose. Anytime you feel heat, you feel agitation or irritation, you can use this breath to bring a calm and a coolness into the body. We're going to bring energy now. So our 3-part breath, our abdomen, our rib cage, and our chest. We're going to see if we can treat it like a stair step, like we're walking up the stairs of our body, starting with our dantian, with our center of gravity, moving up the body before we sigh it all out. So it's 3 consecutive in-breaths, and then a big let it all go. Whatever we don't need, whatever we don't want in our life, whatever energy is not serving us, we just let it all go. So it can feel a bit confusing doing in-breath followed by in-breath followed by in-breath, but this is one to just try over time. We'll start slowly together, and then once we feel into the rhythm, we can just follow our own path with our own breath as always. So the first breath, we raise the arms as we inhale through the belly. Then we extend out through the ribs. Then we bring the breath into the chest. And then we let it all go. Press through the heels, allow head to be heavy. Rolling back up. Let's try it again. This is the breath of joy. Generally, you do this breath very quickly or in a rhythm for energy. But let's just start it slow, get our body used to the feeling of it. Abdomen, ribs, chest, let it go. Abdomen, ribs, chest, let it go. Whatever you don't need, just let it go. Pressing through the feet. Whenever you would like to, just allow your body to come back into stillness. Just take a moment now to just feel the aliveness in your body. You might feel that sensation of tingling and heaviness in the fingers, maybe in the toes too. This sense of chi and energy moving throughout our body. Sense of openness and inviting in breath, oxygen, energy, life. do I feel right now? What is arising in my mind? Maybe you've brought yourself a little more to the present. Sense of curiosity, a sense of see what happens. Sense of allowing ourselves to just be here right now in this moment. Whatever life is offering us. Moving away from that idea of I want or I need, if only this were happening, if only they were different. Whatever story we have been telling ourselves, just use our breath to help us arrive until our goal becomes stillness. Through stillness we find clarity. With clarity, our next action might be a good one. When we see clearly, we move efficiently. All right. We're going to try another breath now, also that I love, the box breath. It's that same idea from before of bringing our attention to the moments in between our in-breath and our out-breath. And in Chinese medicine, we always think of health as being balance, well-being as being things are in harmony within us. We're neither hot nor cold. We're neither one thing or the other. And this breath helps to find that balance. So we're always moving between energy and lethargy. We're always trying to find a balance. And the more that we live in this point in between the two, the more our body functions, our organs do what they're meant to do. So let's see if we can find the pauses in between the breath to happen just naturally within our movement. We're going to do the Qigong form called parting clouds. Let's inhale to slowly raise our arms out to the side. Once they come up to shoulder height, we just pause the breath. We're not holding the breath, we're just pausing. We turn the palms up over so they're facing up, and then we sigh out. So draw the little fingers in. Take all the time you need. Empty out the lungs completely. When our belly needs to breathe again, we draw the fingers in. Holding the breath again or pausing the breath, we turn our hands out and then we let go, side out, and then we pause the breath as our arms come down. Next breath raises our arms. What we want here is a sense of our body breathing us. The diaphragm is a little umbrella type thing that attaches under the rib cage, expands up and down. So you might feel like your whole body is acting as your diaphragm does. Pausing the breath as the arms come down. Inhaling as the next breath comes. You don't have to be in sync with me here. Listen to your own body. This is about trusting the intuition of your body. If your breath still feels very irregular, if it feels like you don't want to pause the breath, that your body is going to panic because it's worried that the next breath might not come, just notice that too. Our aim here is not to bring tension into the body. Our aim is to allow the body to do as it should without our monkey mind finding that stress and tension. Allow your shoulders to be heavy. Pressing through the heels of the feet. Our knees are slightly bent. Just give your body all the time it needs to find the breath, to move with the breath. Let's do one more round each. End of your next cycle, just come back into stillness, allow your arms to be heavy. Again, just take a moment to notice how you feel right now. Use every practice to bring us awareness of where our body is at, where our mind and emotion is. What awareness can we find from today? What can we learn from today's practice? What small intentions can we make to take throughout our day? We're going to come down to a seated position to finish practice today. And this is a pranayama called Bhramari, sometimes called the buzzy bee breath. So whenever you're ready, just find a comfortable seated position. You might like to raise hips higher than the knees to allow the spine to be long. Bhramari is a little bit of a tricky one to teach because you have your fingers in your ears and you can't hear. So we'll probably just get started and everyone can have their own journey through the breath. The idea is that we close off our senses. We close off our sight and our hearing. We come into stillness and we just allow our out-breath to extend through kind of a hum. So I'll just give you a sense of where your fingers should be. Once we start, you can count, and generally with Bhramari, you do 8 or 10 rounds of it, where you just extend the breath out, allow it to be as long as it needs to be, and just notice a sense of calming, sense of harmony that might come into your body through this insular internal practice. So we start with middle fingers together, and we take our index finger to our eyebrows, middle fingers over our eyelids, and we rest our little finger on the nose. And then you want to bring your thumbs to be able to cover over your ears. So we might just start and you can experiment with it yourself. Bhramari is really interesting breath to explore. You might feel a little silly at first, just go with it. So let's bring our fingers where we need to be. Thumbs come into the ears, and then we just hum. We take a breath in through the nose. Whenever you start buzzing, just bring your hands down to your body. Today's practice, we've tried, I guess, 5 different ancient pranayama exercises. These are all over 2,000 years old, things that people have practiced for generation after generation to invite well-being and health and calm into their bodies. We always believe the busier we are, the more we do, the more we achieve. And this is one of the things that our mind keeps telling us we need to meddle to fix things. But maybe the answer is we need to teach ourselves to be still, to hear what only needs to be heard, to see what only needs to be seen. So when we come back to our breath, just take notice of what happens when we invite this calm into our body, so that we're not just moving from one doing thing to the next doing thing. We are inviting being into our body. What does it feel like just to be? What do we notice? So just for the last minute of this practice, just find a sense of stillness. Maybe notice whatever is arising for us in this moment. Bring our hands together at heart center. Just take a moment in gratitude for practicing today, the shared energy of practicing with each other. Many thanks.